begs the question, how much effort do you need to put into making sure that morale stays high in your organization when you're dealing or transitioning through this a succession, and any sort of experiences dealing with that? Go ahead, Jamie.
Well, I mean, that's critical, right? If my people don't want to be here, it doesn't matter, right? It's too late. If you get to the point where I don't want to be here, I'm disengaged. It's just like a customer, right? If you've got a customer who's really, really unhappy, it's almost too late. So I think keeping morale and people feeling valued is critical. If they get to that point where they're fully disengaged, what it's going to take to get them back, it's probably too little too late. So that, again, that culture, leadership, emotional intelligence of dealing with people is key. And I think there's tools out there. I said the one that I've worked with is a TriMetrics, and it includes a DISC analysis, which is kind of who you are. It includes a motivational analysis. So what motivates me? Am I motivated by money? Because if I'm not, throwing more money at me isn't going to make a big deal to me. That's not it. So understanding what motivates people. Is it, is it money? Is it power? Is it harmony? Is it helping people? So what motivates them? And then the third piece is around focus and clarity. How do I see myself in my current situation? How do I view my future? Am I strategic or am I tactical? And I've done that analysis with my entire team. So one, it's a great hiring tool. If you take the time to say, this is what this job requires, you can eliminate bringing in the wrong person by using this tool. But two, even as a coaching tool, my team loves to sit down and say, okay, what does this mean? And I went through training to be able to articulate and understand and read the data, but it's a really amazing process when you sit down with somebody and say, okay, not only we've spent some time and money here to dive into who you are. We care about who you are. We see you. And here's what makes sense. Here's what this is telling me. Does that correlate with what you think? Okay, if this is the case, you're not motivated by money. Why am I putting you in a commission sales position? That's probably not where you need to be. Well, that's right. I'm not happy there. So I think we can use some tools and some data. I mean, they're not 100%, right? There's always some variance there, but it's a great way to start conversation. It's a great way to coach. It's a great way to say, hey, here's what might make sense from a career path. It's kind of like the aptitude test we took in high school to determine what career we should go into. It's a more sophisticated version of that. But it also, again, from that morale standpoint of, hey, you care about me, you see me, there's time spent on who I am and what's important to me. And now we're laying something out, and it helps the conversation of maybe you're right, maybe I should be looking somewhere else. Because we get ourselves pigeonholed. I spent 25 years in operations. It never occurred to me I could go onto the sales side until somebody put that in front of me. Oh, well, wait, the skill sets are transferable. So I think, yes, morale absolutely key. And then maybe looking too to what tools are out there. And I don't know, Mike, if your group or Christy, if you guys have got some of those other kinds of tools that you use that help with that pathing and the conversations.
Yeah, I'll just jump in for a second. I was gonna just be more of a participant and just learn today, but here I am talking about succession planning. One of the really interesting things I think everyone is dealing with right now is every single organization is experiencing change. Even if you're not changing on the inside, the market, everything is changing. And sometimes from a communication standpoint, companies lose people because they're not thinking about the impact of that change. So pre-COVID, before COVID, I may have been committed. You may have told me I was a part of the succession plan. I understood where I fit in the organization, but no one's talked to me. So I don't know now if I'm a part of the future. And there's a very simple approach that a lot of companies can use. It's from William Bridges' change model, and it's the 4 Ps: purpose, picture, plan, and part. And a lot of times in the communication, you can address a whole lot of things by talking to people and saying, you are still a part of our future. You brought us to this point. We need to change. Here's how you brought us to where we are, and here's how we move into the future. Yes, we're bringing new people on, but that does not diminish what you bring to the organization. When new people come in, helping them to understand the history so they don't crush or unintentionally offend people who have worked really hard because they've come in with this new energy wanting to drive change. And I think with this whole great resignation, there's also, I would call it the great contemplation. Just because I was doing something and really committed to doing it pre-COVID, do I care now? And do you need to engage me in a different way? So I may still love the organization and still be passionate, but not want to drive in every day to be at a meeting at 6 a.m. Just because I did that before, what is the purpose? Is it just because we always did it? Because, it can feel different for people. So going back to the 4 Ps, purpose, picture, plan, and part becomes very important. And I would say of all those pieces, the part is most important. Making sure that people from a departmental level understand, here's where you were, here's where you're now, here's where aspirationally we want to be. We're not there yet, but we're working towards it. Here's how you fit. Individuals, yes, you may have told us you don't want to be a part of the succession plan because you were growing your family. We're not forgetting about you. We're not like crossing you off the list and throwing you away. We're going to say, we're going to come back every year and just check with you. When you're ready, we're ready to develop you and place you in, so that you can keep somebody who may not be willing or ready to stretch right now. They like what they're doing and they're really contributing, but they can contribute in the future.